20 years ago, the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash took place right here. 20 years later, where is everyone now? Let's have the conversation. What's good, everybody? You know what it is. TV, sound system, select a hype, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what can I say? 20 years. 20 years ago, I put on my first Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash. We need to talk about it because 20 years is a long time. I'm still here. Where's everybody else? That's the question that we're going to look on right now. Now, here it is, evidence. This is the official original DVD for the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash. Saturday the 28th of May, down there at the Legends, Oxley Street in Wolverhampton. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 DJs, 5 rounds, £500 winner takes all. And for all those people who wasn't there or speculate and this and the other, some people actually even says that I never did one 20 years ago. Are you mad? Let's rewind the time and go back 20 years.
Massive, the moment you have all been waiting for is definitely here. The 2005 Wolverhampton Revive Cup Clash. Who is the real big man for the city of Wolverhampton? You decide. Clashing it out on the night will be the best of the best.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Topper and Mikey American, Brigadier Ranks, Shaka T, DJ K, aka Chronic, Banton B, and Daddy Skipper. All this takes place on Saturday the 28th of May 2005 at the Legends nightclub, Oxley Street in Wolverhampton. Sound system on the night supplied by Wolverhampton's Premiership Sound, Jahman Nuclear. Also warming up the Clash Arena on the night will be the STT Connection with Baby T, Zuki and Major T. Admission on the night is £10 all night. Doors open from 8 p.m. right through till late. Your compare on the night will be the Dread at the Controls. This is a night not to be missed. Remember, you are the judges.
Yes, my people, you don't know, it's all about the Revival Clash 2005.
You know what? I'm even just looking at the back of this DVD. Check out my logo 20 years ago. So as you've seen on the clip, I even did the advert as well. And I also designed the flyer. It's 20 years ago, you know. 20 years ago. And 20 years later, I designed a new flyer for the 2025 Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash. If you want tickets for that during this whole content that I'm doing, some phone numbers are going to be scrolling across the screen depending on what area you are in to get your tickets for the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash. They're also available online, but I'll be dropping the phone numbers for each and every area where tickets are available. Now, the good thing about this is I have receipts. I can go all the way back 20 years and fast forward to 20 years right now and ask the question, where are they now? Let's kick it off with the first DJ. Now, first up was Mikey American and DJ Topper. 20 years ago, absolutely in their prime, doing their thing. 20 years later, fast forward, big up yourself, Topper, big up yourself, Mikey American. Mikey American linking up with DJ Sensei, and also Topper still doing his thing, but not as active as he was 20 years ago. Next up, we had the man himself, Brigadier Ranks. 20 years ago, he was doing his thing, man. He was doing his thing, had a very popular show on Skyline Radio. And it's kind of funny if you watch back the clip, if you see Brigadier Ranks, he's got a cigarette. Them time that you could smoke inside the place, you know, 20 years ago. So big up yourself, Brigadier Ranks. I ain't gonna lie. I have not seen that brother for years. I have his phone number, but I don't even know if it's the right number. Because every time I send a message or holler at him, I don't really get a reply. But I have not seen him on the DJ scene since the Revival Cup Clash, which was 20 years ago. But big up yourself anyway there. 20 years ago, the runner-up was Shaka T. Blaze a crazy fire 20 years ago.
Go Commemoration! Yes, bust down! Bust it down!
20 years later, I think Shaka T has a radio show and a radio station that he's still pushing reggae music. But again, DJ-wise, technically nowhere to be seen for the past 20 years. A man himself, DJ Chronic. Whoa, he was super on a vibe 20 years ago. Had a fantastic radio show on Skyline Radio, and he was really doing his thing out there. So he was playing, man. He was doing his thing. Fast forward 20 years, Chronic's still doing his thing. I had the pleasure to go over to the Heritage Centre, and I went inside the Heritage Centre, and I was like, rah, Chronic's turntables, Techniques turntables, spanking new everything. And I got to big him up, man, because we had a big conversation. We was talking, and I was reviewing some headphones, and they sent me like about 4 pairs of headphones, and I gave Chronic a pair. I says, yo, test these out, they're good. And it's brand new spanking pair of headphones. Super appreciated it. We was laughing and joking. So Chronic's still doing his thing. He still plays out at a lot of private parties, etc. So big up yourself, Chronic. Again, not as mad active as he is, but he's still doing his thing, and he's still playing music, and he's still taking out those Techniques turntables. Uncle Banton B, the rice and peas man, 20 years ago, again on fire. Banton B, the rice and peas specialist, was absolutely doing the damage, and he has been doing it for years and years and years. You fast forward 20 years later, definitely not as active as he was before. Kind of linking up with the Ghetto Downbeat family, I think. And yeah, again, not as active as he is. Crazy Thursday show on Skyline Radio. Need to mention that, big that up. But again, a lot changes in 20 years. Now, fast forward again. No, let's go back. The winner for the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash back in 2025, because it's 20 years. Back in 2005, the winner was Daddy Skipper from the Skippy and Lippy Roadshow. Daddy Skipper's a legend. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not go on like that. He's been doing it 20 years ago, probably 30 years ago. Skipper's been on job. Fast forward 20 years, Skipper still plays out. He definitely picks and chooses where he wants to play and where he doesn't want to play. And yeah, he's still active, still playing. Literally, as I'm doing this video right now, he's actually playing tonight. So Daddy Skipper is still active. He won 20 years ago. 20 years later, as I'm doing this video, literally, Skipper is playing out tonight in Wolverhampton. So big up yourself, Skipper. So a lot of people have been saying, yo, how come you ain't brought them DJs back 20 years later? What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to let you know why in the next video that I do, which will be entitled, Who Turned Down the 2025 Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash? Because some DJs, hey, I'm not even going to say the thing, just wait. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, because Select I have receipts. Yeah? So who turn it down, we're going to let you know. So make sure you subscribe, because that one there, I got interesting. So that was just a brief rundown on the 6 DJs that we had 20 years ago. It's not just the DJs though, is it? Let's talk about the building. Legends nightclub, Oxley Street in Wolverhampton, was a vibe 20 years ago. A lot of sound systems played in there. It was a great building as well, when you look back on it. It had 3 rooms, it had a back room, which barely ever got used. Then it had the main room that was had a room that was downstairs, which we would call it like the second room, where Holy Patines did go on. And then you had upstairs where we had the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash 20 years ago. And upstairs was a good look, man. It was a really, really good look. They had the big stage. They had a decent bar area out in a different kind of just off where the main arena was. And it was a really good event space. Fast forward 20 years. Legends is now a student accommodation place. And I ain't even gonna lie, man. it's run down really bad. It's run down really, really bad. And it's a shame to see. But again, so many things happen in the space of 20 years. And there's so many clubs that are locking down right now. But I think Legends must have locked down a good while. Somebody put it in the comments, man. 10 years, 12 years, something like that. But yeah, Legends nightclub, Oxley Street in Wolverhampton, is now student accommodation. And it wasn't just the building. Also on the night, we had the hosts. Who was hosting 20 years ago? Now let's give you a fun fact. 20 years ago, the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash was supposed to be hosted by Dread at the Controls, Jed Lester, RIP, sadly no longer with us right now. But Jed Lester was the original host for the night. And unfortunately, he had an accident. I don't know really what happened. But if you watch back the footage, you can see Jed Lester in the dance with this big neck brace on. I don't know what happened. I cannot remember the story of what happened. But I always remember him coming in and I was like, yo, you okay? He could be like, nah, I miss this, you know, I miss it. No, we here. And yeah, so Jed Lester, rest in peace. Such a big inspiration for everything that I've been doing from then up until now. Super helped me to promote this dance 20 years ago in ways where a lot of people wouldn't even understand, man. But yeah, so then what did we do? We had to go and we called in the CNC Music Factory Captain and Country Judah 20 years ago. 20 years later, where's CNC Music Factory Captain and Country Judah? I don't know whether they're doing even better now and even stronger now. They are playing out consistently all over the place, all over the UK. Yes, the majority of some of the biggest dances and the biggest reggae events that take place, you will see Captain and Country Judah on the bill. Captain still continuing his big show on the Skyline Radio, Simmer Down Sundays. That's still going on. And 20 years later, or should I say 19? Because last year they came and hosted again. And this year, 20 years later, Captain and Country will be hosting the 2025 Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash again. And that alone just shows you the levels of consistency over 20 years. The early warm 20 years ago was the STT connection. 20 years ago, STT were game changers in the juggling thing. They were spot on dancehall jugglers 20 years ago. They did a lot of stuff, even down to remixing their own song and pressing it on 12-inch, and it blew up the whole remixing scene at that time. Like, nobody was remixing songs and actually pressing them. Fast forward 20 years, fortunately, one member sadly passed away, Major T, and I think right now it's a little bit too soon to see what they're going to be doing in the future and what's happening. They did play out literally a week ago from me doing this video. They were still there representing. So I don't think you're going to see STT not go anywhere. I just think right now it's a little bit too soon to say what they've been doing and what's happening just through those circumstances. Bad sound system, the whole sound system's still going to be there. So I think it's just a matter of time for them to just come together and figure out what they're going to do. And I'm sure, yeah, they're going to continue that sound system, particularly, especially probably for the memory of Major T. Sponsors. 20 years ago, people didn't know about no sponsorship thing and, yo, you can do this and do that and sponsor the event and blah, blah. I think I did have some sponsors, you know, but I don't have the original flyer with me. But, is it on? No, it's not. I don't have the original flyer, but I know say I did have some sponsors. But one person who took advantage of the whole sponsorship was back then, 20 years ago, the Dancehall Master UK. Fast forward 20 years, he's keeping it real. SkylineRadio.org.uk every Sunday. You can catch the Godfather doing his thing. He's still there. So yeah, big up yourself, Godfather. 20 years later, Him still the boat, man. Him still the boat. Yo, let's talk about everything, man. Let's talk about the prize. 20 years ago, £500. A big money that 20 years ago, £500 was a big money. Stop lying, don't tell me nothing. Fast forward 20 years, when I was doing the last year Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash and I came up with the whole idea, I literally just did that Google calculator and I just says, yo, what's the equivalent of £500 20 years later? And it was 960 something pound and some pence. I says, but I can't really give that away, can I? Let's just round it up. Hence the reason why now it is £1,000 winner takes all. I've got to say a big shout out reaching out to Daddy Lizard, Lizard International Promotions, original Rebel in Ting Sound. He was the video man on the night and what a job he did. Because 20 years ago, you was not seeing editing and production like what we was doing or what Lizard was doing. So I've got to say big up yourself, Daddy Lizard, because even if you watch it now, the amount of people that say, yo, we really went in, you know. I think there was 2 cameras inside the building and we edited it up. We put the audio through. We did a lot. And then we put it onto DVD and we put it out there. So, yeah, hats off to Lizard because, I'm struggling to find another video that good when it comes to editing and production and everything in the past 20 years when it comes to an event like this. Yes, there've been some other big dances, but yeah, 20 years ago, this was a very, 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 very futuristic look. Let's talk about the technology. 20 years ago, it's turntables. Techniques, 1210s, 1200s was the go-to thing. Where CD I go? Where laptop I go? Where controller I go? Them things there. If they showed us that 20 years ago, we would have been like, oh my God, you can see the Pioneer CDJ, the Rain Controller, Newmark, Serato was an absolute, it just wasn't even thought about back then. Fast forward 20 years, the Revival Cup Clash, it's all formats, laptop, CD, vinyl, cassette, whatever you want to come and play on, because 20 years later, you do have to move with the times. And I know there's a lot of people them saying, nah, man, if it's not vinyl, then it's not a Revival Clash. I have to argue that point by saying it's not the format that it's played on. It's actually just the music you play. The people them out there are not as authentic. They're not going to come there and say, I'm not going to vote for him because they're just not, the public just don't care about formats of what music's been playing on. Vinyl is definitely making a massive comeback. Watch out for my video talking about that coming soon. But 20 years later, we do have to move with the times in order to keep the music alive. Let's talk about advertising. 20 years ago, you kind of only had 2 outlets. There's pirate radio and flyers. You had to do the groundwork, man. You had to be at every event, going out, constantly. But at the same time, pirate radio was so huge back then. And broadcasting all over the West Midlands, etc. You got a good promo 20 years ago. The promo was good. And remember, 20 years ago, we didn't have what we have now. Social media, mobile phones. If you look and watch the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash 20 years ago, not a phone in sight. Nobody is there like this. There's nothing. Everybody is in tune with what's going on. 20 years later, Facebook Live, Twitter, Instagram, social media, it can be a blessing and a curse because obviously now with social media, you're advertising, you can advertise anywhere now in the world. You know what I mean? If you want people to fly in, if people are that interested and they want to see it, they could all fly in. So advertising, because of social media and the internet, it is, for me, I think it's a blessing, especially because I've used it to my advantage so much. that it kind of really does work for me, and it works for a lot of other people. So yeah, social media and the internet 20 years ago, there was no YouTube, no Facebook. Technology is absolutely through the roof. Like, for instance, 20 years ago is a DVD that had to come out. Now we're streaming, we've got a whole camera production, and then we can put out the whole footage online for the whole world to see what happened. The sound system, Jahman Nuclear. 20 years ago, don't get it twisted, nobody could talk to Jahman. We just won the Premier League Clash trophy, all these things. Anybody coming away, slap that. Over the past 20 years, UK Cup Clash. Winner takes all, twice winning one of them.
Listen out, Jahman Nuclear country. Now listen. We're gonna see us. Listen.
So guys, this is a big disappointment. The people don't wanna hear your sound no more. Jahman Nuclear's hooked on the thing. So back to you, something that you know. Late last night, Jack and Engine called me. Say, Hybrid Prince got a mascot sound to keep. Said they made a vow that they'd stop killing sound boys, but said, wait, this is one sound boy I've got to keep. The best. Too much to confuse me.
And excess amount of things over the 20 years. Stop playing. I'm gassing it up because I was a selector and the MC. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, stop acting like you don't know, because you know. 20 years later, I do not play Jahman Nuclear Sound anymore. They are clearly not as active as they were 20 years ago. Sound does play and has bookings, but it's nowhere near the stature where it was 20 years ago. But built the Jahman Nuclear family, sound system on the night was firing. It was an absolutely movie. But 20 years later, when you look at where Jahman was back then and right the way through to a certain point to where they are now, not as active as they clearly could be. And last but not least, moi. Where was Selector Hype 20 years ago? 20 years ago, I was doing my thing, man. Like I ain't even gonna gas up myself because I know in myself the levels and the achievements that I've done back then. 20 years ago, Jahman Nuclear. I'm killing everything. End of, so you can't say anything. I was in my prime, selecting and emceeing. Them things there wasn't really seen that much, especially when technology is you're literally playing dub plays, you're playing records. Selector I was way ahead of everybody. Extremely talented, extremely focused, extremely making sure that we were going to make sure Jahman reached the top by hook or crook. Fast forward 20 years, still here. I'm still here, man. I'm still doing the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash. I'm still have one of the top YouTube channels them representing sound system culture. I have one of the top clothing lines, sound system clothing, uniting fashion and music.
Favorite, okay. Okay. In the hood they say they love me, yeah, I'm their favorite, okay.
I am here and not going anywhere anytime soon, God willing. And there's other things, like I says, 20 years ago, I designed my first flyer for this clash. I still flyer design up to this day. During that 20 years, you know how many jingles I did for events and dances, and still do voiceovers up to this day. When it comes to DJing, I really honestly believe that I did as much as I possibly could do. And this is the reason why this is my year where I says, you know what, hanging up the headphones and I'm going to retire. Do I still DJ? I do. Am I on the big flyers them and this and the other? No. My thing's corporate, man. I do so many different events. I do so many weddings that it's a different kind of level what we're doing. I do different kind of weddings and I do different kind of birthday parties. I do weddings where they don't want to be on social media. I do birthday parties where they say, yo, we're just going to book you to play. Can you not do the whole social media thing? And I'm just going to leave it on because I don't want to gas up myself now, so I will just go off on one. I can honestly, confidently say I am one of the biggest influencers in sound system culture, even though I don't play sound system. And to do that and be relevant, even just from this one dance, forget about the sound system, forget about the clothing, forget about everything, to still be here 20 years later to do the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash, it's a blessing, it's an honor, and I'm glad I'm still in a position where it's not about me, it's not about, so it's about everybody. Everybody can come together, enjoy themselves, and get great entertainment. That is my sole job from now. Also, yeah, you see me, I've done, nah, I'm joking. That's it, I'm done now. People, it's a bit of a wrap up. 20 years ago, yes, it is a long time. One of the things that I've noticed by watching the video 20 years ago is so many people who are not with us anymore. I watched that video and I can say, why? I could like say, R.I.P., R.I.P. He's not here no more. They're passed away now. Oh, this happened and so and so. So many people are not with us, where I know 20 years later, they would be absolutely soaking this up. So I'm also doing it for those people then who believed in what I was doing as well and was saying, you know what, keep continuing that journey and keep music alive, keep entertainment alive. So that is one of the things and that really kinda, I'm not even gonna say kinda, it does hit when you look and you see who's not here. We are still here, so we have to do our utmost best to continue keeping music entertainment alive. So that's it, massive. That is just a roundup of what 20 years with the receipts. I'm showing you what's going on. We are still here. We are still representing. Some people are here, some people are not here. But guess what? We're going to keep it moving. The 2025 Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash is going to be taking place. Again, it's 6 DJs. It's 5 rounds. It's £1,000 winner takes all. Stepping up the game. And the next video, which I was going to leave to the end, and I don't know whether I said it in the video previously. The next video I'm going to do is why and who dropped out of the Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash when I asked them. And I'm telling you this now. If you see the lineup for Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash, there's a lot of people speculating and asking questions. How come so-and-so is not on it? Why isn't so-and-so on it? Why is so-and-so not on it? We're going to have that question. And it's not going to be all the DJs. It's the ones then what you think, how comes they're not on it? You know, the top ones, the name brand ones, the ones then where you would have thought would have jumped at the opportunity. It's them ones there. We're going to have the conversation and say to you and let you, the people, them know, say, this is the reason why they didn't come into the competition. And we do facts around here. This is the road to Wolverhampton Revival Cup Clash 2025. Selector Hype, I'm out. Peace.